Introduction. While Jan van Eyck and Raphael were both prominent Renaissance artists, they differed greatly in their subject matter, style, and technique. This can be best seen in each of their most well-known of works, the Arnolfini portrait and the School of Athens, respectively. By examining these paintings, one can determine that these artists exemplify the differences between the Northern Renaissance and the High Renaissance of Italy. Jan van Eyck. Much of Jan van Eyck's life is unknown, but most scholars think he was born in Maastricht, Netherlands from 1380 to 1390. He comes from a family full of artists because his brothers Hubert and Lambert were artists as well. It is assumed that he received an apprenticeship from his brother Hubert. He was married to a woman named Margaret, and his marriage was estimated to be in 1422. His earliest dated work was the Ghent altarpiece in 1432, which both he and his brother worked on. The first records of his life were as a court painter for John of Bavaria. He then became a painter for Philip the Good, the Duke of Burgundy, which established him as a well-respected artist. He moved to Bergs in 1431 and was an independent artist there, where he created the famous painting, the Arnolfini portrait, in 1434. Jan van Eyck is likely the person who created oil painting and was one of the first people to use it. Although it is unclear where he was educated, it is clear that he was an educated man due to his use of Latin, Hebrew, and Greek. This level of education was rare for this time in Northern Europe, especially for painters. He was a part of the early Northern Renaissance movement. He died on July 9, 1441, and was buried outside St. Donatien's Cathedral. His body was later put inside the cathedral. Although he was one of the most famous Northern Renaissance painters, his life was mostly unknown and only documented from 1421 to 1441. Raphael. Raphael was born in Urbino, Italy on April 16, 1483. Raphael was exposed early to art because his father was an artist and Urbino was a city with a growing passion for art. He learned basic art styles, techniques, and strategies from his father from an early age, but unfortunately his father died when he was only 11 years old. Due to his father's death, he had to take over his father's workshop and became an aspiring painter. He was quickly considered an advanced painter, which earned him his first big job for the Church of San Nicola in Castello. This job and other works drew the attention of a famous painter named Perugino in the town of Perugia, which resulted in Perugino offering Raphael a 4-year apprenticeship. After 4 years, he moved to Florence in 1504, and he began creating artwork heavily inspired by artists such as Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. In Florence, he also made his famous self-portrait from 1505 to 1506. These inspirations made him a prominent figure in the High Renaissance movement. After his time in Florence, he moved to Rome in 1508. In Rome, he worked for Pope Julius II and created many famous artworks for him, such as the School of Athens. He was even referred to as the Prince of Painters by Giorgio Vasari. He died on April 16, 1520, which was his 37th birthday due to unknown causes. Although he died at a young age, he still left a lasting impact on the world of art forever, shown by the fact that his artworks remain in the Vatican and countless museums today. The Arnolfini portrait was one of Jan van Eyck's most famous paintings. This painting is very realistic and is one of the very first oil paintings in European art. This painting is a depiction of a high-status man and woman in their bedroom that is decorated with many small details such as the mirror, the orange, and the chandelier. There is heavy symbolism in this painting, such as the single candle representing the presence of God, the orange demonstrating wealth, and the green dress representing fertility. In this painting, one can see Van Eyck's use of straight and curved lines to lead the eyes of the viewer all around the painting. Another element of art one can observe is Jan Van Eyck's use of the geometric shapes of the room, organic shapes of the man, woman, and dog, which creates contrast and contributes to the extremely realistic style of this painting. Additionally, one can see the implied texture on the dog, floor, and fur that is created by the precise brush strokes attributed to oil painting. One can also observe the use of space in this painting, such as the background that is decorated by furniture and a mirror. There is also additional space reflected in the mirror, which is innovative for a painting from this long ago. One principle that is exemplified by this painting is balance because of the symmetrical positioning of the man and woman, the dog, and the chandelier. These allow for a balanced composition of the painting because no one part of the painting is too cluttered. Contrast is also well demonstrated in this painting with the use of shadows on the clothing, draperies, and floor. These attributes of contrast further add to the sense of depth. Furthermore, the use of vibrant colors such as red and green highlight the senses of texture and showing Van Eyck's skills in oil painting. Lastly, one can examine the use of fine and precise brush strokes which create the high detail which is characteristic of oil painting, and realism that is characteristic of the Northern Renaissance. School of Athens is a famous artwork created by Raphael from 1509 to 1511 in the Vatican. It depicts countless classical philosophers and great thinkers such as Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, and Ptolemy in one grand room. Raphael also sneaks himself in the painting and is looking straightforward. Raphael uses strong lines on the architecture to create order in the painting. He also uses geometric shapes for the architecture to bring a sense of harmony to the painting, while he uses organic shapes to depict the people and the sculptures in the background. Another element evident in this artwork is the use of implied texture used to make the room seem smooth and the implied texture of everyone's hair. Additionally, one can observe the use of space, specifically the use of linear perspective to create a sense of depth by placing a vanishing point above the head of Plato and Aristotle. One of the principles of art present in this painting is the contrast between the vivid colors of the people and the somewhat dull colors of the architecture that help the people pop out. Another principle is the use of balance because of the symmetrically placed architecture, but still including some asymmetry with the placement of these notable figures. One can also observe the usage of warm and cool colors for the clothing that effortlessly blend without any harsh lines because of the soft and smooth brush strokes used by Raphael. Although this is a fresco, Raphael still uses his precise brush strokes to create high detail, and an example of this is expressions on the people's faces. Lastly, one can observe the composition of this painting. The composition consists of the looming grand architecture above and to the sides, with the main subjects of Plato and Aristotle being placed in the middle of the horizontal line, other people to the right and left. Comparison. When comparing these two artworks, one of the most evident and most important differences is the style. The style differs because while the Arnolfini portrait demonstrates realism and symbolism characteristic of the Northern Renaissance, School of Athens focuses on balance and beauty. The next clear difference is the technique used for these paintings. The Arnolfini portrait is an oil painting which allows for high amounts of detail, while School of Athens is a fresco which allows for easy blending of colors to create harmony. Another place these two paintings are comparable is their approach to composition. The composition of the Arnolfini portrait and School of Athens are both focused essentially on the couple and Plato and Aristotle respectively. The composition differs though because the placement of additional key details in the Arnolfini portrait are spread out in all directions, but in School of Athens most of the additional key details are placed on a linear axis. Furthermore, these two paintings differ in their use of light and shadow. The School of Athens used shadow to define the people and their clothing, and uses overall uniform light to enhance the subject of the painting, while there is limited use of light in the Arnolfini portrait, and the shadows used to create depth and a natural feel. Comparison. An additional difference in these paintings is their depiction of human form. Jan van Eyck uses a more natural and realistic depiction of humans, and this is characteristic of the Northern Renaissance. On the other hand, Raphael uses an idealized and graceful depiction of humans that is characteristic of the High Renaissance. The Arnolfini portrait contains themes of marriage and domestic life, while the School of Athens uses themes of knowledge and classical philosophy. One of the last key differences is the context behind these paintings. The Arnolfini portrait is from the Northern Renaissance, which focused on realism, symbolism, and daily life. The Arnolfini portrait is also from Northern Europe, which still had some lingering Gothic elements that may have influenced this painting. An additional piece of context that may have influenced this painting is that this was a portrait of a wealthy couple, and that influenced some of the details, such as the orange, which represented high status. The last piece of context that may have influenced the style of this painting is the religious influence symbolized by the single candle representing God and the dog symbolizing loyalty. On the contrast, the School of Athens is from the High Renaissance, which focused on balance and harmony. Also, it was commissioned by Pope Julius II, which may have influenced the style based upon the Pope's request and the religious influence from him. The last piece of context behind this that is important is the depiction of classical philosophers that lead the style to focus on knowledge and intellect. In summary, although these two artworks are both from the Renaissance, they are vastly different in almost every aspect. Critical reflection. After deep analysis of the historical and cultural context, the art styles, and the elements and principles of these artworks, I believe that Raphael was more successful and had a larger impact on art. I believe this because Raphael's art and his name are things that almost everyone knows, while it takes someone who truly appreciates art to know who Jan van Eyck and his artwork are. Although Jan van Eyck left a large impact on art because of his oil painting, I believe that Raphael's use of linear perspective and his overall popularity affected more art to come. Additional aspects that gave Raphael the edge in my book are his use of chiaroscuro, his subject matter and appreciation of classical artists, and his use of a larger variety of vibrant colors. An additional insight that I have is that both of these artworks are great in their respective movements, but I prefer High Renaissance art and find it more influential. Conclusion. After this deep analysis, one can see the clear difference between the technique, style, and subject matters that these artists and their artworks display. Both the Arnolfini portrait and the School of Athens are masterpieces unto themselves, as well as prime examples of their respective art movements. Jan van Eyck has a focus on realism in his art, while Raphael has a focus on balance. Both of these artists were innovators, considering their use of oil painting and linear perspective. Ultimately, these two artists had extreme depth in their paintings and had great impact on future art, both inside and outside the Renaissance period. Works cited page. Works cited page continued.